Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're jumping into something that is super fundamental to making the web work for everybody: links. We're going to break down how to make sure every single link on a page is a clear, helpful guidepost, and not some confusing dead end. Okay, picture this. You pick up a book, you flip to the table of contents to find what you're looking for, and every single line just says, "Go to chapter." It'd be completely useless, right? You'd have zero idea where you were going. Well, for a ton of people trying to get around the web, that's exactly what it feels like.
So, for anyone using assistive technology like a screen reader, one of the best features is being able to pull up a quick list of all the links on a page. But what happens when that list looks like this? It's just a jumble of commands with absolutely no meaning. Read more. About what? Click here. For what? It's basically the digital version of that useless table of contents we just talked about.
And believe it or not, this whole mess has a name. It's the click here problem. And it's honestly one of the biggest, most common accessibility issues on the entire web. But the good news? It's actually pretty easy to fix once you get the hang of it.
All right, so let's dig into this click here problem a little more. We've got to really understand what's going on before we can even think about fixing it.
The great thing is there's a solution, and it's built right into the official rulebook for web accessibility. It all comes down to creating links that, just make sense right from the start.
Okay, so this is the official rule. It comes from the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG for short. I know, it sounds super technical, right? But stick with me, it's really just two simple ideas rolled into one. First part, the best case scenario is when the link text itself tells you exactly where you're going. Second part, if you can't do that, then the text around the link has to give it enough context for software to figure it out.
When you boil it all down, it's this simple. We want to turn every link into a clear signpost. The whole point is to let someone know what a link is for before they even click it. That way, they can decide if they actually want to go there. Okay, so let's look at some real examples of this in action. Good versus bad links. You'll see it's kind of wild how a tiny change in wording can make a world of difference.
So on the left, you've got the classic click here. Super generic, tells you nothing. But on the right, the link text is the destination. New study on web accessibility. I mean, if you were just scanning the links on a page, which one would be more helpful? Yeah, it's a total no-brainer.
Now check this one out. This is a great example. See how the link isn't some action word like read or click? The link is the topic itself, medieval period of history. This is awesome because the text is a perfect self-contained description of where that link is taking you.
And hey, this isn't just for screen reader users. Think about anybody who uses their keyboard to get around a site. They're hitting the tab key to bounce from link to link. If every link actually says what it is, they can find what they're looking for way faster without ever touching a mouse. It just makes everything less of a headache.
All right, but remember that second part of the rule? What happens when you just can't make the link text itself perfectly descriptive? Well, this is where the power of context comes in. It's a real game changer.
And this happens all the time, right? Just think about a news homepage with like a dozen little article blurbs. You're not going to make the entire headline a link every single time. So what do? How do you make that read more link actually work for everyone?
Well, the answer is this kind of clunky-sounding phrase, programmatically determined link context. That is just a super fancy way of saying that the software, the screen reader, is smart. It's smart enough to look at the words right next to a link to figure out its purpose.
So, where does the software look for this context? Basically, it can find it if it's in the very same sentence, or in the same paragraph, or if they're both in the same bullet point, or even the same cell in a table. The key is just keeping the description and the links snug together. That creates a relationship that the software can totally understand.
And here's the perfect example of how this all clicks into place. A list of read more, read more, read more is, like we said, totally useless on its own. But when you put that read more link right inside the little paragraph that describes the article, the screen reader can read the whole thing together. So the person hears, a new study reveals planets made of diamond. Read more. And suddenly, that generic link makes perfect sense. It has a crystal clear purpose.
Okay, so we've looked at the problem, we've looked at the solution. But let's wrap up by talking about why this really matters. This is about people, not just code.
Getting this one simple thing right helps a huge range of people. I mean, obviously, it's a massive help for users with visual disabilities who use screen readers, but it's also a lifeline for folks with cognitive limitations and people with motion impairments. Let's break that down a bit. For someone with a motion impairment, every single click can take a lot of effort.
Descriptive links mean they're not wasting that energy clicking on something they don't even want. For users with cognitive limitations, clear signposts reduce confusion and help them stay oriented. And for those with visual disabilities, it gives them the clarity they need to get around the web on their own terms, efficiently.
So at the end of the day, making your links clear isn't just about ticking some accessibility box, it's just good design. It shows you respect your users' time and energy, and it makes the web a better, less frustrating place for literally everyone.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question to chew on. Take a look at your own sites, or the sites you use every day. Are the links clear signposts guiding people where they want to go? Or are they just roadblocks, turning navigation into a frustrating guessing game? It's a choice we all get to make. Thanks for tuning in.